Rashidalek, I believe that many countries in Asia today are celebrating Buddha's birthday. So I wish you all a very happy Buddha's birthday. And this is exact day to remember all the kindness of Buddha, that he came to our world and then he taught the Dharma, and Dharma still continues, and they are practitioners of the Dharma, followers of the Dharma, and we can still witnesses the followers of the Dharma are still practicing loving kindness and compassion for the benefit of all sentient beings. So this is very wonderful, and we should remember Buddha's teaching, and we should also try to, as much as possible in our day-to-day life, implement all the words of wisdom that Buddha has shared to us, those wonderful instructions, wonderful antidotes to our suffering or the cause of suffering. So this is exact moment, exact day, or exact month even, to remember all those wonderful teachings and try as much as possible to apply into our day-to-day life. Happy Buddha Jayanti. And so I would like to thank you all for participating diligently over the last few days, listening, contemplating the words of wisdom from GAMPOPA. I'm very happy to share this. And I also received many messages from different Sangha members around the world appreciating sharing this Dharma. And for that, I would like to thank Tango Dharma Society for making this possibility in this critical situation where people are very exhausted and living in a very fearful situation. But yet, we have been able to share Dharma, which will be able to, will be the instrument for us to bring our internal strength, internal path to the enlightenment. So this is very wonderful, and I would like to thank you so much for that. And so we are studying this text called Jewel Ornament of Liberation by GAMPOPA. And to review this, GAMPOPA has mentioned 6 different topics in order to present this whole teaching. 6 different topics, and among the 6 different topics, we have completed 2 topics so far, and we are now studying the 3rd topic, which is the spiritual master. And since even though we have this Buddha nature as a seed, and in addition to that, we also are very fortunate to be able to attain this excellent walking basis, which is known as precious human life. But if you are not supported by spiritual master, then it is again not so easy. It is still very difficult to attain or achieve full and awakened state of mind or enlightenment. The reason why it is so hard to attain enlightenment, even though we have this excellent working basis and the seed itself, Buddha nature, is because of our habitual tendency involving in the cause of non-virtuous act. It is because of our non-virtuous, inveterate propensities of the previous lives, inveterate or deeply rooted our habitual tendency. We have been habituated from the beginningless time, involving in negative afflictions and emotions. So this is the reason why it is still very hard to attain enlightenment. So in order to dispel this deeply rooted habitual tendency of involving in negative afflictions and emotions, we need to have a clear guidance and compassionate guidance and all the instructions from spiritual master. That is why we need to attend spiritual master. We need to find someone who has the quality to enlighten us, who has the quality to show us the path, who has the quality to teach us and guide us in the path of liberation. That is why this subject is very, very important. And also because of the force of our habitual tendency. And how can we know this? Quite a simple. What happens is usually we are very much habituated in giving rise to our negative afflictions and emotions. Every now and then we get angry. Every now and then we get jealousy of someone. Every now and then we give rise to attachment, anger, pride, stinginess, so on and so forth. It becomes like our nature actually. In reality, that isn't our nature at all, because we now know that our nature is Buddha, right? The primary cause is the Buddha nature, Tathagata Garbha. So our nature is not angry or anger, hatred, jealousy, stinginess, pride, boastful, ruthless. These are all temporarily, but we are so used to those things because we have not met such a spiritual master who has led us, who has shown us the antidotes to dispel those negative afflictions and emotions. That is why we are following in the suffering of samsara. So what we need to do now, like for example, simple example would be, it is always easy to involve in non-virtuous act than the virtuous act, isn't it? So you can remember our own individual activities in day-to-day life. It is always easy to get angry or jealousy or hatred, but it is very hard to develop compassion, loving kindness, forgiveness, patience, meditation, study of the Dharma, concern for others, to do something good for others. So it's all because of our habitual tendency. So from today, from now, since we know that we have attained this excellent working basis, which is known as precious human life, so we need to utilize this to change that old habit and to uproot that deeply rooted habitual tendency of involving in negative afflictions and emotions. Can we do that? Absolutely, we can do that. Because those negative afflictions and emotions are not our nature at all. But in worldly terms, we usually, when in our conversation, when we get angry, people say, oh, that's our nature. But it isn't our nature. Our nature is compassion, loving kindness. Our nature is Buddha. So Buddha is never angry. Buddha is never jealous for others. Buddha always has a concern, loving kindness, and compassion for others. So therefore, we should remember this and we should try to change our attitude with this body and through the instructions of the spiritual master. So this is what we should be doing. Okay. So in the spiritual master, as GAMPOPA mentioned, there are different types of spiritual master. Before that, GAMPOPA just didn't say that we have to attend a spiritual master. He said it is important to attend spiritual master. And there's a reason why we need to attend spiritual master. And that's very important, very logical. Buddhist teaching is always very practical. So that is why he mentioned reason. So in order to present this chapter 3, he has these 5 points, which comprise this teaching. Number 1 is reason, why we need to attend spiritual master. The answer is simple. He mentioned 3 another subtopics, subpoints. First, because Buddha said so. Because Buddha is someone to whom we can trust. He is someone who has great amount of loving kindness and compassion towards all sentient beings. So he is someone who will never cheat on people. So because of that reason, we can rely on Buddha. And that's why he brings some quotes from sutras, scripture. Second, he mentioned was the reason why we need to attend spiritual master is simply because we don't know how to accumulate merits and wisdom, promote wisdom. It's simply because we don't know how to abandon or dispel our obscurations in the path to liberation. That is why. And third was similes. Just like if you want to go to a new place, we need a proper guide. Just like if you want to go to some danger zone, danger places, dangerous country, we need to have a proper escort. Just like if you want to go to the other side of the river, we need to have a skilled boatman in order to cross the river. Similarly, we need to have a spiritual master in order to reach enlightenment. And also on the path to enlightenment, we need to have spiritual master's guidance in our path. Otherwise, there's a lots of danger of falling into negative afflictions and emotions. There may be possibilities that our negative afflictions and emotions will overpower us. So in any case, we need a special direction, guidance from spiritual master. Then he mentioned there are different types of spiritual master. That's second point, classifications of spiritual master. So we know that there are 4 different types of spiritual master. Buddha himself in the Nirmanakaya form, Buddha himself in the Sambhogakaya form, then Bodhisattva spiritual master, then the ordinary spiritual master. And after that, he mentioned each characteristic of each spiritual masters. So far we have studied the 3 spiritual masters, and tonight we are going to talk or study about the ordinary spiritual master. Okay, so before do so, please recite refuge prayers and generating bodhicitta together. Sangye Jordan Zoge Jonam Lai Jangjo Bardo Dane Gyab Sonje Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Dolai Benje Sangye Dro Barai Sho Sangye Jordan Zoge Jonam Lai Jangjo Bardo Dane Gyab Sonje Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Dolai Benje Sangye Dro Barai Sho Sangye Jordan Zoge Jonam Lai Jangjo Bardo Dane Gyab Sonje Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Dolai Benje Sangye Dro Barai Sho Semjen Tamje Dewa Dan Deve Gyodan Den Barai Gyorje Dungan Dan Dungan Gen Gyodan Dawai Gyorje Dungan Meben Dewa Dan Dan Me Dawai Gyorje Nyeren Jadan Nyedan Dawai Danyam Jembo La Nebarai Gyorje Semjen Tamjen Dewa Dan Deven Gyodan Den Barai Gyorje Donga Dan Donga Gen Gyodan Dawai Gyorje Donga Meben Dewa Dan Dan Me Dawai Gyorje Nyeren Jadan Nyedan Daven Danyam Jembo La Nebarai Gyorje Semjen Tamjen Dewa Dan Deven Gyodan Den Barai Gyorje Donga Dan Donga Gen Gyodan Dawai Gyorje Dungai meben dewan damban dan min dawan gyoje ngeren chada ngi dan dawen danyum jembo la ne bar gyoje palden zawe lama rimbo je dagi churu pe men den shula kadin chembe gonen je sonde go son to ge ngudru zal do so. Okay, so we're going to study the ordinary spiritual master. So this is the most important spiritual master because this spiritual master we can meet, we can see, we can attend, we can get instructions from. Why? Because we have not reached level of our realization in order to attend and meet Bodhisattva spiritual masters and Buddha Sambhogakaya and Buddha Nirmanakaya spiritual masters yet. So for now, for as a beginner, the most benefactory spiritual master to us is the ordinary spiritual master. Okay, so we are going to study how many types of ordinary spiritual masters and what are their qualities or characteristics. So GAMPOPA mentioned here by saying ordinary spiritual masters. There are three types of ordinary spiritual masters. There are three types of ordinary spiritual master. So when you talk about ordinary spiritual master, don't forget that we are still talking according to Mahayana vehicle. So that spiritual master should be Mahayana, should have entered into the Mahayana gate of the Dharma, and he is the ordinary Mahayana spiritual master who is on the way to attain Bodhisattva. So if you understand that, then it will be easier for understand ordinary spiritual master. Here, the term ordinary doesn't mean, ordinary human being of the Shavakas or Pratika Buddha's family. Here, ordinary being in the Mahayana vehicle. Okay, so GAMPOPA mentioned here, he gives three different types of ordinary spiritual masters according to Mahayana practice, who are practicing Mahayana vehicle. Those who possess 8 qualities, this is one type of ordinary spiritual master. Second type is those who possesses 4 qualities. And finally, those who possesses 2 qualities. So there are 3 different types of ordinary spiritual masters with different types of qualities. The first, which holds the 8 different types of qualities. So we should know what are those 8 different types of qualities. Then we can differentiate even within the ordinary spiritual masters who has a little higher realization than the others. Okay, so the first one with the 8 qualities. What are those 8 qualities? So definitely, number 1 should be that he or she must have taken bodhisattva vows and have been keeping moral ethics of bodhisattvas. So that's number 1. That's a must, otherwise one is not called bodhisattvas if he or she does not get given a rise to bodhicitta or taken the bodhisattva vows and kept bodhisattva vows or moral ethic of bodhisattvas. Second quality is that he or she should be well learned or learned in Mahayana teachings or Mahayana sutras. Or in other words, he or she should be master in Mahayana teaching. Number 3, he or she has to have some kind of realization, not only teaching but also realization. So usually we remember we call study and practice. So study, if he or she has studied Mahayana vehicle, but if she or he doesn't have any realization, then that will be other different case. But here, the next quality should be he or she must have some kind of realizations in Mahayana teaching, some practice in Mahayana vehicle. So quality number 4, he or she must have loving kindness and compassion towards all sentient beings. Okay. Quality number 5, he or she does not fear benefiting other beings. He or she have a what you call deep concern for others. So therefore, he or she choice well benefiting others. So there's no fear of benefiting others. Then quality number 6, he or she must have patience in bringing sentient beings into the truth of the path that lead us to enlightenment. So having patience because of hardship. It's not easy to bring all sentient beings into path of liberation. So there are lots of hardships that one must undertake. So while doing so, he or she must have patience. Importance of bringing other sentient beings into path of liberation, and he or she must never get angry, but he or she always have patience in the path or in the hardship. Right? And the quality number 7, he or she should never feel tried. In other words, he or she has to have diligence in benefiting others. Okay, so that's number 7. And finally, he or she should be expert in verbal expression. In other words, well, this bodhisattva, spiritual master, ordinary bodhisattva spiritual master, I should say this, because if I say bodhisattva spiritual master, then we'll be confused from the earlier bodhisattva spiritual masters who has obtained bhumis from 1 to 10. Any bhumis from 1 to 10 are considered as bodhisattva spiritual master. But here, ordinary bodhisattva spiritual master are the one who have not reached the first bhumi yet. Okay, they are still on the path. So he or she must have expert in verbal expression, which means that he or she should present Mahayana teaching in a very skillful way with regard to the verbal expression. A pleasant sound with lots of different, able to display lots of examples, similes, and are able to, convince all beings in order to bring them into the path of liberation. So these are the 8 different qualities. If someone has these 8 different qualities, they are considered as a little bit of superior, ordinary spiritual master. Then we have this second type of ordinary spiritual masters who possesses 4 qualities. So now we should know what are the 4 qualities then. Obviously, first quality should be he or she must have well learned or learned in Mahayana teachings. Otherwise, he or she can't give teachings. He or she can't be spiritual masters. So he or she must have some kind of expertise or well learned or masters in study of Mahayana vehicle, which means that he or she can give more extensive teachings in Mahayana, according to Mahayana vehicle. Quality number 2, he or she can dispel any doubts of the disciples. If students have some kind of doubts in the Mahayana vehicle, the instructions of the Mahayana vehicle, then he or she must have that ability to dispel their doubts. And definitely they can because of their vast knowledge in the Mahayana Sutra. So this should be quality number 2. And quality number 3, his or her words are acceptable to students. What does that mean? That means that he or she, when they teaches Mahayana vehicle, Mahayana Sutras to the students, he or she should also act according to Mahayana vehicles. If he or she does not act what he preach or doesn't practice what he or she preaches, then student will not follow, will not get confidence or faith and devotion. So which reminds me about walk the talk. Whatever you say, you also need to follow. You should not just be an instructor who can give instructions, but you should also be an inspiration to others. Then only they will follow you from their deeper heart. Otherwise, if you just be instructor and forget afterwards, not implementing what you preach, then they will judge your activity, and which will then not bring any benefits. So if you are a spiritual master, then you should also act accordingly what you preach. In other words, so this kind of spiritual masters, his activity or his actions are pure according to matching with the teachings of Mahayana vehicle. So that's why it says his words are acceptable because he acts purely according to the Dharma. So that's very important. And the quality number 4 is that he or she should be able to teach or distinguish the 2 realities. Here, 2 realities should understand in different ways. In some explanation, they mention 2 reality as non-virtuous and virtuous act. So he or she should be well known to teach what are the virtuous act and what are the non-virtuous act. In other commentary, they also mention that this bodhisattva spiritual master, ordinary spiritual master, should have distinguishing between the cause and effect manner. Or in other words, if you recall the Four Noble Truths, the first two truths, truth of suffering and truth of the cause of suffering. So that spiritual masters should be very aware and well known in teaching what are the cause of suffering and why we are suffering. So he or she should distinguish this and are able to teach accordingly to the students. So he or she can competently tell students that negative afflictions and emotion are the root cause for your suffering in the samsara. And then on the opposite side, these spiritual masters should be well known and distinguish, saying that truth of path is the cause for truth of cessation of suffering. In other words, this spiritual master should be well known and is able to teach the truth of path, the 5 paths, exactly according to Maya and vehicle, and can be able to teach students that this is the path, exact path, which will lead us to cessation of suffering, which is liberation. So these are the 4 different types of qualities according to GAMPOPA in this second type of normal spiritual masters. And finally, the third normal spiritual masters should have 2 qualities, at least 2 qualities. So first quality number 1, he or she must have learned Mahayana vehicles or expert in Mahayana teachings. Secondly, he or she must have kept bodhicitta, or in other words, who have never abandoned bodhicitta. So this is very, very important. If someone abandons bodhicitta, then he is no more bodhisattva. He cannot be spiritual masters according to Mahayana vehicle. He cannot be. So at least if you can't find the normal spiritual masters with 8 qualities, then try to find a normal spiritual master with 4 qualities. If you still can't find normal spiritual master with 4 qualities, then at least try to find spiritual master with 2 qualities. So these are the different classifications and characteristics of normal spiritual master or ordinary spiritual masters, in other words. So this is the topic for spiritual master, ordinary spiritual master. So next presentation is the method. The fourth point is the method. What does method mean here? Method means how one can attend spiritual master. What are the methods and how to attend spiritual masters when you find spiritual master? Okay, any spiritual masters of the 3 ordinary spiritual masters. Once you find your spiritual masters, then how can you attend spiritual master? So there are another 3 different types that you can attend spiritual master. Method. When this kind of authentic spiritual master is found, there are 3 ways to attend him or her. So these 3 ways are: number 1, through attending him through respect and service. Number 2, attending him or her through devotion and reverences. Number 3, attending him or her through practice and persistence in the teachings. So these are the 3 ways one can attend spiritual masters. Okay, so first one, let us focus on first one. What does respect and service mean? Attending spiritual master with respect and service. That's quite simple. That means that it has 2 subdivisions according to GAMPOPA. He says here, respect and service. The first has 2 subdivisions: attending spiritual masters through respect, and second one is attending spiritual master through service. Okay, so the first one, What is respect then? Here, GAMPOPA says, attending spiritual masters through respect means doing prostrations with respect. We usually do prostrations when we see our spiritual masters. And also by standing up quickly when spiritual master arrives. That's what we usually do. And or wait for him with the offering of khada, queuing up when spiritual master is about to come. And bowing down when he comes to show our respect, and most importantly, to cut down our ego clinging or pride. Okay, this is the reason why we pay respect and homage to spiritual masters. Bowing down and circumambulating or doing kora to spiritual masters or where he resides, the temple or the monastery where spiritual master resides, his resident. So we do circumambulating of this temple as well. So this is one way of attending spiritual master through respect. And expressing yourself with feeling of closeness at the right time, gazing at him or her on and off without satisfaction. So just like witnessing your spiritual masters, just by being able to sit with him or just by looking at him, these are the with devotion, with respect. So these are the few of the examples that GAMPOPA has given here, how the way and how we can attend spiritual masters through respect. Okay. Then second subdivision is through service. So we can attend spiritual masters through service. The service meaning here again, trying to clean his room, offer him food, money, clothes, and offer him medicine, seeds, flowers, incense. So these are attending your spiritual masters through service. First one was through respect, doing kora, prostration, standing up when he comes. Second, with the service, is like making his meals or, for example, cleaning his room or doing his laundries, so on and so forth. Offering of flowers, offering of medicines, offering of incense, offering of butter lamp, so on and so forth. These are some of the ways how we can attend spiritual master through our physical activity. Okay, this is one part. Second way of attending your spiritual masters through devotion and reverence. So this is little more important than the first one. So here GAMPOPA says to attend him through devotion and references means that one should regard the spiritual masters as the Buddha. So that's not from the physical or verbal, but from mind. From through your mind, you really have faith and devotion towards your spiritual masters. Faith and devotion. This faith, again, if you go back to the previous chapter, 3 different types of faith. We should develop 3 different types of faith to our spiritual masters. Faith of trust or trusting faith, that is to say, trusting in his teaching, karma, cause and effect. Trusting on his teachings of bodhicitta, loving kindness and compassion, patience, tolerance, generosity, and so on and so forth. All the instructions that he gave, we need to have trust in that path or teaching. Then we have longing faith, means that, oh, this bodhisattva level or achievement of bodhisattva or the enlightenment state of mind is very, very important. It's very beneficial. So you know all the beneficial effects of this. And then therefore, you have a faith and devotion and you really want to attain that level of realization. And for that, you have this wish to attend or wish to follow on the path. And finally, the faith of clear faith to your spiritual masters, can see him as a Buddha, can see him as a Dharma, can see him as a Sangha, because your spiritual master is the foundation for triple gems, as you remember from the first chapter, right? So these are how we can attend our spiritual master through faith and devotion. And finally, we can attend our spiritual masters through practice and persistence. And among the three way of attending spiritual masters, the final, this one is the best way of attending spiritual master. And that is attending your spiritual master through practice and persistence in the teaching means to truly integrate the practice and the teachings of the spiritual masters through hearing, contemplation, and meditation practice, and through persistence. So that means whatever instructions you have received from your spiritual master, you implement those teachings. You try to gain 3 wisdoms from that instructions. You try to gain wisdom from hearing the Dharma teachings from him. You try to gain wisdoms from contemplating on Dharma. And finally, you try to gain wisdoms from meditation or putting them into practice. And this also should not be just for 1 day or 2, 1 month or 2 months, 1 year or 2, but constantly. That's why it says here, through persistence, continuously practicing the Dharma. And this is the best repay that you can do to your spiritual master. This is the best way to attend your spiritual master, because your spiritual master will be so pleased and happy if you really follow the Dharma, follow the instructions that he gave you, listen to the instructions, contemplate the instructions, and put them into your practice in day-to-day life. If you're able to do this, this is the best gift that one can give to our spiritual master. Don't worry if you cannot attend him through respect and service, but if you are able to really practice according to his instruction, that will be the best gift for your spiritual master. As it says in the Ornament of Mahayana Sutra, attending the spiritual master means practicing whatever he has taught. By this, he will be completely pleased. Okay, so that's why he will be so happy with this is because his first wish was to benefit sentient beings. So what can benefit sentient beings? Only the instruction can benefit sentient beings. So if he sees his student really implementing the instructions in their day-to-day life, then he is satisfied. He has completed his mission of benefiting others. So that's why this is the very important. One will achieve Buddhahood when the spiritual master is pleased, as it says in the Sri Sambhava's life story. So there's a quote: when you please the spiritual masters, you will achieve the enlightenment of all Buddhas. So this is very, very important. The third method of attending your spiritual master is the most wonderful way of attending your spiritual master. Okay, so it's quite easy, isn't it? You don't need to have money to offer to spiritual master. You don't need to worry about having flowers or incense or doing gora or prostrations and all. And that's why we say, even though if your teacher is not in front of you in person, if you are practicing what he has taught you, he is always there with you. Right now, right with you, on the right time, if you really practice. Okay, so this is something that you should really cherish. The way how you can attend your spiritual master, the best way how you can attend your spiritual master. Okay, so these are the 3 steps of. This is that completes the the way how we can attend spiritual master. So next paragraph is, he says there are 3 steps to receive teachings. So there are these 3 steps of receiving teachings from spiritual masters. And what are they? First, preparation. Second, actual teaching. And finally, of the consequences. So I will read this out first. First, preparation. What does that mean? That means to have to receive the teaching with bodhicitta, or the mind of enlightenment. So whenever you receive teaching from your spiritual masters, you always need to give rise to bodhicitta. If you are able to do so, this will be so much beneficial. If you are able to generate bodhicitta, if you think that I'm going to receive these teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings, because I enter in the gate of Maya and vehicle, so my main objective will be all sentient beings, to bring them into perfect enlightenment, to free them from the suffering of samsara. So if you have that kind of motivation, that kind of bodhicitta, then your whole teaching will have virtuous act, will have lots of accumulations of good merits, because you're dedicating this for the well-being of all others. So the second here is, while you receive the teachings, while actually receiving the teachings, you should regard yourself as a patient, suffering patient, who really want to have permanent happiness. And the Dharma that you are receiving from teacher, you should consider this Dharma as a medicine. Since you are patients, you need to get rid of the pain, and what you need is the Dharma. So Dharma as a medicine. And then the spiritual master as a physician or a doctor. So you need to think this while you receive teaching. You need to consider yourself as I am the patient of suffering of samsara. And I really need to get rid of this suffering of samsara. So, and how I can get rid of from this suffering is through taking the medicine. And medicine is the instructions of the guru or spiritual master. And the one who is giving you this medicine or instruction is the spiritual master, and consider him or regard him as a physician or a doctor. So if you have this kind of motivation, then it will give us some kind of what you call lively while you practice or while you listen to the teaching of the Dharma. Then what happens at the end? Listening and firmly practicing the Dharma, one should be regarded as recovering from the sicknesses. So as your Dharma practice goes along, and as your realization grows, as you are able to minimize your negative afflictions and emotions, as you are able to generate more compassion and loving kindness, as you are able to practice more patience, and as you are able to practice being more generous to others, then you should consider as you are recovering from the pain. Okay, so this is how you think when you receive teachings. And finally, GAMPOPA mentioned here, as a consequences, the fault of being like pot turned upside down, or a leaking pot and a pot filled with the poison will be avoided. So when you listen to the Dharma, there's always danger of having 3 faults. An example are here that GAMPOPA mentioned here, a pot or a cup which is turned upside down. So if the cup is turned upside down, so how much water you pour on top of it, the water will never go inside the cup or the pot. So which means that even though your body is there in a classroom or in a temple where there's a teaching going on by the spiritual master, but your mind is outside, wandering your past and future, then even though your physical body is there, you are like turned upside down pot. You will never hear any Dharma because you are distracted. Second possibility of fault is that even though your cup is on the right position, but if there's a small hole, then how much water you pour, it will leak, right? So it's a leaking pot or leaking cup. So the water will never stay inside the cup. So likewise, even though you are listening to the Dharma, you are not distracted. But if you just listen Dharma today and later on you forget, or if you don't implement the Dharma, then it's like listening from one ear and throwing it out from other ear. So it's like leaking pot. And finally, you are present at this class, cup is not upside down, turned upside down, is in the right position. And secondly, there's no leak, you're not forgetting the Dharma. But if there's a poison inside the cup, then even though if you put the water there, so that water is not drinkable. If you drink that water, you will die or you'll get lots of pain, right? Likewise, even though you are there, you are not distracted, you don't forget the Dharma, but if you listen to the Dharma with negative thoughts of gaining name and fame, or thinking of having a thought of competing with someone else, then this will be not as what is expected in Mahayana vehicle. So this will be like with poison, listening with the poison. So these all three are considered as a error or negative or shortcomings while you practice the Dharma or listen to the Dharma. So you should be free from all these things. And finally, the last point in order to present this chapter is the benefit. So finally, what is the benefit of attending spiritual master? So GAMPOPA says here, benefits. The beneficial effects of attending a spiritual masters are mentioned in the Sri Sambhava's life story. The quote, noble family, a bodhisattva who has well guarded by spiritual masters will not fall into the lower realms. Obviously, if you practice the Dharma according to Mahayana vehicle, if you implement all the instructions, then you can protect yourself from falling into the lower realms. And a bodhisattva who is escorted by spiritual masters will not fall into the hands of an evil person, because you are protected with the instructions of spiritual master. A bodhisattva who is well guided by his spiritual masters will not turn away from Mahayana path, because he can inspire you. He can be able to convince you with the expert of expressions in the teachings of Mahayana vehicle. So therefore, because of that, you will be never turned away from Mahayana vehicle. He will always teach you how important it is to generate bodhicitta, how important are other sentient beings with regard to your own happiness, because of interdependence nature. We have to depend upon each other for our, even in the samsaric way, we also need to depend upon each other for our sake, for our happiness. So therefore, he will be able to tell you all the reasons why we need to generate bodhicitta, why we need to concern for others and all. Therefore, if you are well guided in this way, then you will never be turned away from Mahayana vehicle. Okay? A bodhisattva who is well guided by the spiritual masters will go beyond the ordinary person's level. So obviously, you are more generous, you are more patient, you are more diligent. So your level will be much higher than any regular person. And there's another quote from the Mother of the Victorious One, Perfections of Wisdom says, a bodhisattva mahasattva who is well guided by the spiritual masters will quickly achieve unsurpassable and complete enlightenment. So therefore, these are all the good benefits of attending spiritual master. Okay. So before I conclude, I will try to read. There's one story how to attend spiritual masters here. Since we have some time, there's a story of Sata Parudita, a bodhisattva named Sata Parudita. What does that mean? What does his name mean? Sata Parudita means always weeping, always crying. So it sounds funny to us when you hear Bodhisattva always crying. But here, he's crying for good purpose. He's crying for good reason. He's crying because he sees the suffering of samsara. He's crying because he wants to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of others. He's crying because he really wants to achieve higher level of teaching within the Bodhisattva, within the mind vehicle. He really wants to meet higher spiritual master who can really give him higher level of teaching. So therefore, he's always wondering and always hoping and always weeping that how can he get able to meet this spiritual master? How can he get this teaching? So therefore, he's always weeping. That's why his name is mentioned as Sada Parudita, which means always weeping. So there's this Sada Parudita Bodhisattva, and he was very practicing Dharma very diligently, and he was always searching Prajnaparamita teaching. So that was his kind of goal, that he really wanted to study Prajnaparamita teaching. He received this teaching. One time when he was doing meditation in a cave, suddenly one day there was a sound in the sky telling him that he should go to the east. If he goes to the east, he will get this teaching of Prajnaparamita. So after hearing this, while he was doing meditation, after hearing this, he was so pleased, he was so joyous. Then he suddenly went out from this cave and then went to the eastern direction. But after a few hours, he realized that, oh, okay, I'm going to east, I'm so happy, but I have not asked that sound that how far I should go. But that sound disappeared. So he was very sad. And then he cried. So the starting of crying is happening now. So he cried and he remained there. And he thought, how can I get this teaching of Prajnaparamita? How possible it is for me to get this Prajnaparamita teaching? So he remained there with only this thought in his mind. No other thought appeared in his mind. So with this thought, he just stand there for 1 week. He didn't realize that because he was very good in meditation. He can stay in a deep concentration for so many days. That's his expertise are. So therefore, he was there for a week thinking that how can he achieve this teaching? Then Buddha was very pleased because Buddha can see, and Buddha appeared intentionally in front of him and told him that, oh, noble family, he said, oh, you are very good. You have only one thought in your mind, that is to how you can get these teachings. And Buddha said that, oh, son of noble family, well done. You have made effort to hear the teachings of the perfections of Prajnaparamita without any concern for your body and life, because he has not eaten for a week and he was just focusing on how he can get this teaching. So because of that diligence, because of that patience, because of that trust and devotion, so Buddha was quite happy, and Buddha appeared in front of him, and then Buddha guided him. Buddha told him that, oh, son of noble family, in about 500 yojana, so yojana is an Indian ancient type of measuring the distance. So 1 yojana is maybe about 12 kilometers. So in that case, about 6,000 kilometers from where he is now, if you go to the eastern direction, about 500 yojanas, you will be able to reach the place called Gandhavati in Sanskrit, which means that fragrant incense, mountain of fragrant incense. And when you reach there, you'll be able to visit a great Bodhisattva Mahasattva, spiritual masters named Dharma Gota. So when you meet him, he is the spiritual master. He is the only teacher who can give you this Prajnaparamita teaching. So Buddha appeared and delivered this message to him. And he was overjoyed and he was so happy, and he said he will do this, he will go there. Buddha also told him that this my teacher, Dharmagota, will be able to show you the path to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment. So Buddha also said, "O son of noble family, without thinking a day or night, just go, and then you will be able to meet this teacher, and then you will be able to hear the Prajnaparamita teachings." So by hearing this, the Bodhisattva Sadaparudita was become supremely happy and joyous. And then his whole mind was occupied with the thought. Before that, his whole mind was occupied by how can I get this teaching. Now his whole mind was occupied by how can I meet this teacher, as Buddha told him. So Buddha disappeared, it's kind of Buddha appeared in order to convey this message to him by seeing his diligence and his obedience. So then, after hearing Buddha, so then his only thought is that how can I meet this teacher Dharmagota when I will meet him and hear the teachings. So there's no other thoughts in his mind. This is the only thought in his mind. So because of that, again, through that, he achieved many meditative observations, many techniques of meditative observations, because he was one-pointedly focused on how he is going to meet this teacher. Then he thought, okay, I will go to the eastern directions and I will try to reach that place called Gandhavata, and I will try to meet that spiritual masters. Then he went. But after some time, he realized, oh, I have nothing to offer. I have no money, I have no flower or incense, I have nothing to offer. So that will be very improper or inappropriate to attend spiritual master. So he thought then, oh, what to do? And he was sad again. And again he started crying. Then after crying for some time, then he realized, oh, okay, but I do have this body. I can sell this body, and by selling this body, I can get some money, and from that money, I'll buy offering items for my spiritual masters. Then he went into the city, nearby city, and then he decided himself that, oh, this body, I will sell this body because I can use whatever I get from selling this body and make offer to Bodhisattva Dharmagota. And he also thought, since beginningless time, throughout limitless lifetime, my body has been wasted and has not been used for any dharma purpose, nor to honor the great Bodhisattva. Therefore, I have wasted all my body from the beginningless time. So this is the time that I have opportunity to meet spiritual masters and promote this great teaching of Prajnaparamita. So I have to spend this body for the good purpose. So then he went into the city and he made an announcement. He shouted with a loud voice and said, I'm going to sell this body. So if anyone is interested, please come and buy my body. So while he was making this big announcement, the local spirit we call Maras, they heard this, and they have some kind of omniscient power, reading people's mind. And they thought, oh, this Bodhisattva, if he is able to sell his body, then he will be able to get some money, and from that money he will be able to meet Dharmagota, and from there he will be able to receive the primordial, the wisdom teaching, and then by that he will be liberated from suffering of samsara. And then if he do so, he will be out of our control. So the Maharaj thought that's not good, so they want to obstruct. So they kind of, with their magical power, they blocked his announcement. So in the city, no one heard of his announcement. But he didn't know that he was making announcement again and again. At the end of the day, no one approached to him. Obviously, no one heard any announcement. So then again, he went into the corner and he tried to cry. That's why his name is labeled as always crying Bodhisattva. Then, while this is happening, the Indra, the god Indra, saw him, and Indra was quite impressed by his diligence. Indra was so happy with his, trust and devotions towards Dharma. Then but Indra thought, I must testify this. I must test whether he is really genuine or not. Then Indra manifested into a young Brahmin's body and then approached near him. And he asked why he's crying. Then he retold all the stories. Then Indra, in the human form, as a Brahmin boy, said, okay, I will buy your body, even though I have no much use of human body, but I need to make a sacrifice offerings. So that's why I need some human's heart and flesh and blood. So he was so happy, this Bodhisattva. So can you imagine this? He's so happy to sell his body in order to attend Bodhisattva spiritual masters and to receive the Dharma. So he suddenly said, yes, I'm so happy, thank you. He thanked him and he tried to cut his body. And there's a blood, he collected the blood and so forth. While this was taking place, there was this lady who was watching from the top floor of the house. She's from wealthy family, and she thought what's happening there, and she went down and tried to talk to the Bodhisattva Sataparudita. And then he again retold his story, and then she was very impressed. And when she heard the story, she was really astonished and amazed by hearing. And then she said, in order to honor your teacher, in order to make offering to your teacher, and in order to show your respect to your spiritual masters, I will provide you whatever you want, because I've lost some money. I'm from wealthy family. While this was happening, Indra disappeared and he reappeared again as Indra. And Indra said, oh, I'm so pleased with your authentic devotion. So I didn't need any human body. I was just there to test whether you really mean it, whether you're genuine or not. Then Brahma asked him, what do you need? I can give you anything if you request it. This is what happens usually when gods are happy. Then they ask you what you need, and then you make your wish. But here, surprisingly, Bodhisattva Sataparudita didn't ask any kind of material wealth. He said, I need to have perfect enlightenment, unsurpassable enlightenment. Can you give this to me? And obviously, Indra said, no, I cannot give this to you. This is not in my ability. So then Bodhisattva Sataparudita make a wish that if all the Buddhas and have preached, protected that I will achieve enlightenment, and if they are aware of my unshakable altruistic thought, then by this truth may my body be healed as before. As he prayed, that very moment his body was healed because he was genuine. And then completely free from all the sickness and suffering. Having nothing more to say, Indra just disappeared. Then he followed with this lady and went to his house, and they requested their parents why they need this kind of offering. Then they agreed and they gave everything what he needs in order to attend his spiritual masters. The lady joined him too by seeing his diligence and importance of spiritual masters and teaching. So eventually they arrived this city called Fragrant Incense, and then they were able, they witnessed this great palace of the Bodhisattva Dharmagoda, and Bodhisattva Dharmagoda was sitting in the precious jewel throne, surrounded by countless disciples who are listening his teaching. And at that very day, the Bodhisattva was trying to build a temple for Prajnaparamita Sutra. So what a exact timing. Then after all the ceremonies were done, he approached to the Bodhisattva and he did prostrations, and then he retold all the stories behind, and he said, Buddha appeared to me and Buddha asked me to go to this direction, and Buddha also told me that I'll be able to meet you and I'll be able to receive teachings from you, Prajnaparamita. And in the, obviously the Bodhisattva was so happy with his diligence, with his faith and devotion towards Dharma, with his not at the sake of his life, he was able to sacrifice his life, even his life, for the purpose of Dharma. So then Bodhisattva was so happy, and then in this way, the Sada Parudita asked, why this Buddha appeared in front of me? Where did Buddha go after he disappeared in front of me? So there were some questions in his mind that was disturbing him. So he thought this is the right moment to ask these questions to Dharmagota. And he asked these questions to Dharmagota, and Dharmagota replied him in this way. These Tathagatas have not come from anywhere. So here actually he's giving the Prajnaparamita teaching. So you should listen very carefully. These Tathagatas or Buddha have not come from anywhere, and they have not gone anywhere. They are not moved from the suchness. Whatever is the nature of suchness, that is the Tathagata itself, the Buddha nature. O son of noble family, in the unborn nature, there's nothing to come and nothing to go. That nature of the unborn is the Tathagata. O son of noble family, in the perfection, there's nothing to come, nothing to go. That perfection, that perfect nature is the Tathagata itself. O son of noble family, in the pervading emptiness, there's nothing to come, nothing to go. That which emptiness is, that is the Tathagata. And so forth. O son of noble family, you should understand that this is the nature of the coming and going of the Tathagata. O son of noble family, the suchness of all phenomena should be understood and realized this way. O son of noble family, from this time on, the Tathagatas, the unborn nature of all dharmas, unceasing, should be understood this way. With this unborn nature of all dharma, the unceasing, you will achieve unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment. And you will achieve the perfections of the skillful means and the perfections of the Prajnaparamita. So these are the exactly Prajnaparamita teachings that Dharmagota gave to Bodhisattva Sada Parudita. So this is a short story about Bodhisattva Sada Parudita, how he tried to attend his spiritual masters and how he tried to obtain Dharma teachings. Thank you very much. So before we conclude tonight's teaching, shall we dedicate the matters for the benefit of all sentient beings. Sonam deye tamje zekba nye topne nye be dhanam pamje ne gega nache balav chokba sibe tsole dowa dowa shu. Good evening, everyone. Can we start our prayers? First, taking refuge and generate the bodhicitta. For that, you visualize in front of you your Guru and surrounded by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. With your great devotion and faith, you take refuge and generate bodhicitta. John
Dage jinso jibe sanamge Dola benje sanje to pararaijo Sanje je dan soge jo namla Jan joy barado da ne jazoje Dage jinso jibe sananje Dola benje sanje to pararaijo Sanje je dan soge jo nam lai Jan jabo barado da ne jazo Dage jinso jibe sanamge Dola benje sanje eto pararaisho Semje tamje dewa dan dewe jo dan den parai juroje Dunga dan dunga ge jo dan da urai juroje Dunga me be dewa dan ba dan me da urai juroje Yere jada nye dan da ve da nya jen bola ne prai juroje sem je tam je te wa dan te ve jo dan den prai juroje tu nga dan tu nga la ge jo dan da wa juroje Tungala me be dewa dam ba dam me dewa juj Nyere cha dan dan da ve da nyam chen bo la ne pai juj Sem je tam je dewa dan de ve ju dan den ba juj Dunga dan dunga ge ju dan da wa juj Dunga me be dewa dan ba dan me dewa juj Nyere cha dan dan da ve da nyo jen bo la ne ba Churoi je sem je tam je dewa dan deve ju dan den para juro je Dunga dan dunga ge ju dan da wa juro je Dunga la me be dewa dan ba dan me da wa juro je Nyere cha da nye dan da ve da nyam chen bo la ne pai juro Now we meditate on Tonglen. Tong means give, Len means take. The give means give all our happiness, and in the cause of the happiness. The cause of the happiness is love and compassion. And take means you're taking on the mother sentient beings, their pain, sufferings, cause of the suffering. The cause of the suffering is ignorance, attachment, hatred or anger. They are those the cause of the suffering. Okay, now this meditation is applied with your breathing. You breathe in, then visualize that all the mother sentient beings, their sufferings, their pain, all come out from their body, form of black smoke, and cause of the suffering are their defilements, three poisons, come out from of black smoke. You breathe in, then imagine they are separated from the suffering and cause of the suffering. Okay, when we breathe out, that time with the breathing, you imagine that your happiness and the cause of a happiness, the love and compassion, come out form of the white smoke or dissolve into all the mother sentient beings. Then you imagine they are all receive happiness and cause of the happiness. Again, you do repeat this, breathe out, breathe in, and meditate on that. And if you have some fear that I am taking all their sufferings, their pains, their three poisons I'm taking, then you are afraid that they may affect on me. If you already have doubt, then you visualize that at your heart level, inside your body, at the heart level, there is a fire. One small fire. When we breathe in all the negatives are, then fire will burn all the black smoke and all the negative are burned and it's disappeared. Okay, now we recite mantras. First we recite the Avalokiteshvara's mantra. Then when we chant the mantra, that time your mind concentrate on this visualization. Instantly that yourself and all the mother sentient beings transform into the four-armed Chenrezig. Then this place, your place is pure palace of the Avalokiteshvara, and this world is pure land of the Avalokiteshvara. Now imagine that your body is a four-armed Chenrezig. It's transparent body. Then your speech is a mantra, all the essence of the Dharma. And then your mind is love and compassion. Now, imagine that all the sentient beings are together chanting this mantra and concentrate. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Now we recite long life Buddha's mantra, that Amitayu Buddha's mantra. Now you visualize above your head that long life Buddha Amitayu. He is red in color in Sambhogakaya form, and he is sitting on lotus and moon cushion. He is red in color. He is two hands and a meditation posture, holding long life vase. Then with your faith, then from your heart radiate light. This light goes straight, dissolve into his heart. That means that requesting with the faith that we requesting long life Buddha to give us longevities and prosperities. Then from his heart, body radiate light. This light go to 10 directions. Collect all the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas blessings, and collect all the universe energies, and all the 5 elements, essence of all the 5 elements. They all the light form or dissolve into his long life vase. They fill up his long life vase. The nectar all flow from the long life vase. The nectar go into your body. Then this nectar fill up your body. They remove all the obstacles for the long life. That you imagine that you are receive all the blessings and the energy of the universe and energy of the 5 elements. That increase your energy, prolong your longevity, long life. With this concentration, then we recite mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayojana Sobhine Citate Rajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambodhaya Teyata Pune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jnana Sambharo Bhajite Om Sarva Sankara Parashuddha Dharamate Gangana Samungate Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurojana Sobhine Citate Zorataya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambodhaya Teyata Om Pune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jnana Sambharo Bhajite Om Sarva Sankara Parashuddha Dharamate Gagana Samungate Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayojana Subhin Citate Zorajaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambodhaya Teyata Om Pune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jnana Sambharo Bhajite Om Sarva Sankara Parishuddhi Dharamate Gangana Samungate Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayojana Sobhine Citate Zoranjaya Tathāgataya Arahate Samya Sambodhaya Teyata Om Pune Pune Mahapune aparimita pune aparimita pune jnana sambaropachite om sarva samkara pareshu dharmate gangana samungate sobhava vishuddhi mahanaya parivareso om namo bhagavate aparimita ayujana subhine chitate zorajaya tathāgataya arhate samya sambuddha te yata pune pune maha pune aparimita pune aparimita pune ya sambaro bhajite om sarva sankara pareshuddhi dharmate gangana samunga subhava vishuddhi mahanaya parivareso om namo bhagavate aparimita ayujana subhine citate zorajaya tathāgataya arhate samya sambuddha te yata pune pune maha pune aparimita pune aparimita pune jnana sambaro bhajite om sarva sankara pareshuddhi dharmate gangana samungate sobhava vishuddhi mahanaya parivareso. Now you recite the medicine Buddha's long mantra. Therefore, you visualize that from your heart radiate light. This light go to the pure land, medicine Buddha's pure land. Then this light dissolve into the medicine Buddha's heart that requests medicine Buddha to give us the blessings. Then medicine Buddha's his baking bowl. From his baking bowl, the nectar flow from his baking bowl. This nectar come and dissolve into ourselves, and also nectar dissolve to the other beings. They purify all their illness, their pain, their fear, their obscurations, obstacles all removed. The nectar fill up your body. Imagine that you have received the medicine Buddha's blessings. Om Namo Bhagavate Virokhante Guru Vendraya Prabharajaya Tathāgataya Arhate Samya Sambuddhaya Te Yata Bekanje Bekanje Maha Bekanje Raja Samungate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bindruya Prabharajaya Tathāgataya Arhate Samya Sambuddhaya Te Yata Bekanje Bekanje Maha Bekanje Raja Samungate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bindruya Prabharajaya Tathāgataya Arhate so Loma Jiba or Pichati Varnashawari's mantra. Therefore, you visualize that Varnashavari is in front of you in the sky. It is one of the 21 Taras emanation. Then when we recite the mantra, the time then nectar flow from her body, then going into the crown and body that purify all the obscuration. Then especially all kind of disease are purified. Om Pishate Pranashaware Saravadora Prashamani So 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 Om Pishate Pranashaware Saravadora Prashamani So. Now you visualize Dorji Namprijoma. Then also we will chant the mantra that then nectar flow from her body. That's nectar going into our body to purify all our obscurations, all the sickness. Nama Jenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Jenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Jenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Jenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Jenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Jenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe Nama Jenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrite Humbe. Now, toe magic. We visualize toe magic is in front of you. Then nectar flow from his body. Then go into your body that purify all the obscurations and all the sickness. Om Guru Maha Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bimale Utuma Kroda Humbe Om Guru Maha Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bimale Utuma Kroda Humbe Om Guru Maha Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bimale Utuma Kroda Humbe Om Guru Maha visualize that in front of you the sky, the 8 medicine Buddhas, and surrounded by other 16 bodhisattvas. Then all the medicine deities are countless of them in front of you. With your faith, they will recite the mantra. Samunga te so te yata omoen beganze maham begaze raja samunga te so te yata omoen beganze Bekaze, Mahabekaze, Raja Samanga te soha, te yata omoy bekaze, Mahabekaze, Raja Samanga te soha, te yata omoy bekaze, Mahabekaze, Raja Samanga te soha, te yata omoy bekaze, Mahabekaze, Raja Samanga te soha, te yata omoy bekaze, Mahabekaze, Raja Samanga te soha. Deadon Bekanze, Mahabekaze, Samanga Rajan samanga de zo simje ne ba jinye nyurdo ne le tajro je dove ne malu tato juwa me barare sho le da lo boro ke le juro ba yi den dan ne le jong bo se wa yi so sem je ye me de we ne na ge ji de kan so jo wa ma ju ru ji ji tra she me te be se ja ji ke ji la le san de ji be so tro ne ge do la ji yi ba ji de kan so jo wa ra ma ju ru ji qi dai xian jie kai nai zi bai da ni ge mi zang te be dai ji be nin jie bai dang dai be rim so ge li jie gun lai ne pra mai ju ru ji ne be ge re ton tai jie jo da lo bro ye do son ja do jo da xi jia zai xi ne lai so ba ye li jie gun lai ce wa ra ma ju ru ji li sim de wa ma li zhuo ji be jun xie chu be do nga lai ji ni ba ma li xie xie dan do de ba dan ci ren ni me de ji de bra ra sho la mai kon cho sum ge to je da kan do che jo so mi ni to da len de lo wa me be de to ji wo wa ma la ta ji do ba ra shu. Repeat again at page 4. Le da lo bro ge le jru ba yi den da ne da jong be ze wa zo senje yemi devene naige jide kanso jwara mai juruji jetara shemi chebe se jashi ke lai le sem de jebe so ne ge do ji ni ba ji de kan so jong ma ju ji chi da shin ji kai nan zo ba da ni mi zaman te be ta ji be nin je ba da ta be rim so ji li je gun la ni pa ma ju ji ne be ge re ton tai je jo da lo bro ye do son ja do jo da xie jia zai xie ne lai so ba ye li jie gen lai ce wa ma ju ji li sim de wa mai li to ji be jun xie tu be do nga lai ji ni ba ma le xie xie da de bo lai de ba da ce re ne me de ji de ba ju la mai con cho so mai ge to je da kan do che jo so me ne to da len de lo wa me be de do ji mo wa ma la mai da che do para jo one more repeat le da lo boro ke le jo wa yi den da ne da jo bo se wa su sem je ye me de we ne na ge ji de kan so jong wa re ma ju ji ji da xie me che be se ja xi ke je je la le so man de je be so to ne ge do nga lo ji ni ba ji de kan so jong wa ra ma ju ji chi da shin je ka na zhe ba da ne ge min zang de be da ji be nin je ba da la ne ba ma juru ji ne be ge re ton tai je jo da lo bro ye do sum ja do jo da xie jia zai xie ne lai so ba ye li jing ge la se wa ra re ma ju ro ro ji li sen de wa ma le to je be jun xie choi be do nga lai ji ni ba ma le xie xie dai do de ba da ce re ne mi de je de ba la mai con cho sumai ge to je da han do che jong so me ne to len de lo wa me be den do ge ngo wa ma lam ta che do para re sho ma ho ma za san ji na wa ta ye da ye so jo do ji jin bo da yen do sen ba do ji do na la san ji jan se ba me ko ji ke de ji wan sa ta do me ba ye Deva Jinji Javi Shingande Tane Dene Sebi Jumanda Kewa Shinji Brahma Chibaru Dero Jine Nande Sheto Shui Digi Dagi Melamanta Badi Chocho Sanje Jansen Tamji Gi Mian Do Para Jingi La Doso Deya Tai Binda Deya Awan Bodana So Hai Chode Jawa Se Jibong Chonyi Tola Jiran Dage Dizon Gizaba Panjo Somla Chebago Jalave Temba Pejroji Gewa Semje Kunamo Toke Sanje Tojroji Gezai Tamji Jide Tashin Jula Minjroji Tini Dane Tozo Te Tere Neme Nyamdo Be Sede Sajo Nanjroji Namshe Sepe Jurmanda Jewa Jendo Jejroji Jeni Peme Kaji Te Lidin de la Sanjeyo Chancho Tane Jisedo Tulabe Dowa Dembara. Now we dedicate merits to all sentient beings. From beginningless until now, whatever I have collected merits, whatever I have virtues, that I dedicate to all sentient beings. By these merits, all sentient beings free from the suffering and obtain enlightenment. So nan de ye tang je ze bai ni to ne ye be Keganaje Balavaero Baye Sibe Sole Do Wado